The render types are located right here on this drop-down. They're used to limit the number of pixels that are rendered. And this is useful when you're doing test renderings to save time. The top item here renders everything that you see in the viewport. So you've probably been using this type all along. Selected, as you can imagine, renders only the selected objects. I'll select this teapot and do a test render. Notice that we're rendering this massive number of pixels because you can see that we're only seeing a quarter of them here in the rendered frame window. We're able to analyze how the teapot looks under the lighting conditions of the scene, and we can see how the material appears that we currently have assigned to the object. And we saved a lot of time because we didn't have to render all the other pixels in the rendering. Another approach is to use region to render a specific region of the overall rendering. When you click Test Render, you'll see this marquee appear that you can drag around and resize. I'll focus on the kitchen sink and the teapot. And then click OK down here in the corner of the viewport to start the rendering. And only that region is rendered. If I were to save this image right now, there would be a lot of black pixels in the rendering. So the file size would be relatively large, even though I've focused on this particular area. Crop eliminates that problem and renders only the pixels within the region that you've selected. Again, you have to click OK, and now we're focused in on that specific region. No black pixels are output here into the rendered frame window. And we can get up close and personal with the crop region that we've selected. The next option is called blow up. And it works like crop, but it fills the rendered frame window. So notice how I can't resize it like I could before. The aspect ratio has to match that of the entire image. When I click OK, that's going to fill the entire frame buffer here. So it's going to take a long time to render. But it's a way that we can really magnify what we're looking at here, and I'm not going to wait for it. These other choices work with the selected objects. So box selected works by analyzing the size of the bounding box of the selected objects, and it's going to resize the rendering to fit that bounding box. We have to select the image dimensions, and I'll just click render. So it's going to render that teapot now, and it sized the image according to the bounding box of the object. Region selected is very similar, but it's in the overall context of the complete rendering with the black pixels included. Finally, crop selected has fewer pixels, but it eliminates all of the unrendered pixels. So there you have it. Many different options for limiting the number of pixels that have to be calculated. And this can save you a tremendous amount of time when you're doing test renders.